This channel is proudly brought to you by... I don't give a fuck what you think, bitch!
Linking on my brain. Okay. Linking on my brain. I got linking on my brain. Whoa.
I'm gonna be honest.
To be honest, I have never heard a woman be honest when they speak of MGTOW. But hey, let's see how well she does.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm not someone who is going to sugarcoat it for you, okay? I believe that women have been making cardinal mistakes the last maybe 20 years, maybe.
2 to 20 years? Try the past 50 to 100 years. Women have been fighting their biological duties for a lot longer than 2 to 20 years. How are we supposed to think that you're an honest woman when you can't even do basic research? 20 years? Really? That's interesting. And it's a lie.
And what I mean by this is, like, I believe I'm a bit patriarchal.
That is one of the most obvious of manipulation tactics coming from a chameleon that I think I've ever documented. I have never heard a woman say that they support the patriarchy. I've heard some females, that claim to be MRA advocates. I've heard them say that they're not against patriarchy. But I've never heard even them say that they support it. And the thing is no matter what part of the political sphere that a woman is on, none of them support patriarchy. The only women that are in Western society at all that I would ever believe to support patriarchy are the women that live in Amish communities. But even then, when you look, every year there are Amish women that get a little taste of civilian life, and then they become westernized. Next thing you know, they leave, and they become thoughts just like any other bitch. But if they choose to stay in that Amish community, perhaps I would, believe them if they said that they supported patriarchy, because you could see the evidence that they are okay with being in their place. But women that are out here in mainstream society, none of them support patriarchy whatsoever. Because like I said, if they did, they'd be like the Amish women. But they're not, are they? They're not. In fact, Western women judge Amish women. They call them controlled. They say that those women are brainwashed. Why? Because they have their priorities, in check? They're not out here on Instagram and Tinder and Facebook and all that shit? It's just interesting. So, she's full of shit.
Which means that I believe that men are men and there are the providers, the protectors, and I believe in the old school family, I don't think that women should stay at home and be only stay-at-home moms. No, I don't, because I know I'm going to get judged about this. I don't.
You see there, guys? She does not support patriarchy. That was a flat-out lie. Just because she says she does, doesn't mean that she does. Because now she's going on to say, I support the old school family structure where the man is the provider and the protector. But, and here's the fine print, but she does not support stay-at-home moms. And the reasoning is because she doesn't want to face the backlash from people who would disagree. You know what that makes her? That makes her gynocentric. That means that she is not for the patriarchy. You cannot sit there and, have your cake and eat it too. You can't say that you support patriarchy, but you're also against stay-at-home moms. That's a contradiction. And now you're busted.
I don't think that women should stay at home and be only stay-at-home moms. No, I don't, because I know I'm going to get judged about this. I don't. But I truly believe that this thing that is going around gender equality, we cannot be equal. We're not equal because we're not the same.
Look, lady, it's very obvious to me that the only reason why you even snuck that in there is because you have MGTOW in the title. And so you're trying to find some type of balance. You're not trying to piss off the feminists by saying that they need to stay at home. And you're going to sit there and tell us that men and women have differences. Well, we don't need you to tell MGTOW that men and women have differences. We don't need you to tell us that. We simply don't care. The only reason why I'm here is because I'm going to hold that fucking line. Because you Chameleon thoughts, you're not going to get an inch into our fucking ranks. It's not going to happen.
So we kind of put this on ourselves, on our heads, and now we're suffering the consequences.
Yes. This is the one time I'm probably going to agree with you in this whole video. You women as a collective, you indeed put this on yourself. And there is consequences. MGTOW is a consequence of, the whole collective of women abandoning their biological duties as women. When women start to behave like men, they start to take on the traits of masculinity, and then they destroy the value of masculinity. And men aren't going to stand for it. Not anymore. Yes, there are consequences. And we're not going to sit here and let you women run from it. You're not going to sit here and try to manipulate us and have us, look away with all of these deflection tactics that you got. You're not the first one to try these tactics, and you won't be the last. But none of you, mark my words, none of you are original. None of your tactics are original. There's literally nothing that you can do or say to convince us to go to your side. MGTOW, as a collective, we want the consequences to come. There needs to be a consequence for feminism. There needs to be a consequence for gynocracy. And there is, and there will be. MGTOW is not going anywhere. And so when women can't find their plow horse, when women can't find their little male slave to do everything that they want, when being a cuck becomes just the idea of being a cuck becomes extinct, you women will be forced to pay your own bills and pay your own way in life. And that little thing between your legs, it's not going to stop it.
If I were a man and I am constantly going through those crazy women who are like Amazon women, or maybe like the warrior princess type of a woman who can do anything.
Most women these days foolishly believe that they are these majestic beings, that they are in fact like Wonder Woman, like they're Xena, the warrior princess. They all have this false sense of empowerment because they know that they have society by the balls, and they know it. It's very unattractive. And most women fall into that category where they feel like, oh, I can do anything on my own. I'm independent, right? And we know that's not true because the moment that you get pregnant and you start cashing in on that pregnancy, You're using a man's money to survive. And throughout my life, I've seen many women take that money that the man is forced to pay her, and they get flat screen TVs, nice brand new cars. Meanwhile, the man has to wear the same pair of shoes for years, the same pants for years. Some of them lose their businesses. Some of them take their own life. Because oftentimes men are forced to pay for children that they're not even allowed to see because the mother is a bitch. And they still, after cashing in, on these men who got them pregnant, they still want to go on social media and boast of their independence. Nobody's buying that shit anymore. And that is what has you scared.
Those types of women, let me tell you this, and this is true, I know this because I've been like that. Those women are literally castrating men, okay?
That's another obvious chameleon tactic. Those type of women. Those type of women. Notice when she says those. It's as if she's saying, I'm not that type of woman. And for her to point out that she used to be that type of woman, that's just her, way of covering her tracks in case, one of her ex-boyfriends pops into that comment section and says, actually, you're just like all these women that you're talking about. Then she'll have, plausible deniability, say, oh, I've changed. I'm not who I used to be. Bitch, the only reason why you would ever stop being that type of woman is because you're approaching that wall. So you got to put that, oh, I'm different now mask on in hopes that some stupid fucking simp falls for it. I'm sorry, bitch, but there's no simps in MGTOW. I'm sorry. Actually, I'm not. But, continue, telling us how you're different from what you used to be. Continue telling us, oh, those women this and those women that. See if we actually believe you. Let me know.
Let me tell you this, and this is true, I know this because I've been like that. Those women are literally castrating men, okay? I know this because I've been like that.
Gotcha, bitch.
Maybe women are even better than men in some, in some particular jobs or maybe at the university, or I don't know, but in our urge, in our aim to be better than men or to be equal to men, we lost our femininity and we turned into men, So when you go and meet a guy and you are only talking about your career, how good you are showing him, how well put you are, everything is fine with you. You have your career, you have the money, you have the power, you have freaking everything. So why do you need a man? I mean, you don't. We lost our femininity and we turned into men.
Actually, you do need men. The problem is that most women have fed into the propaganda that they don't need a man. And it's not that women are better than men in these fields. It's that this whole liberal narrative that they got to, push more women into things like IT and all these other fields that women are just not interested in, but they're pushing women into them. And they're not good at these fields, not compared to the men. So the quality of these fields are dropping. The more women get into these fields, the more the quality drops. And the problem that men have, it's not necessarily the competing with women, in the workforce. That's not necessarily the problem. The problem is that when women get a little bit of power in any industry, like literally any industry, whether she's a police officer or whether she's a manager at Walmart, it doesn't matter. The moment a woman gets a management position, they turn into a bitch. they turn into a tyrant. A lot of women get, some high-ranking position, and they treat everybody as though they are below house cat. They treat everybody, as though they are their husband. Like, you do what I say, or else. You better change, or else. That is the problem that men have with women who are well accomplished. And a lot of women who are well accomplished, they take all of that bullshit, all that stress that they have at the office, and they take it home into their relationship. Men don't want to deal with that. We'd rather have a woman in our kitchen making a fucking sandwich, raising the kids, for 20, 30 years, just be the housewife. Do your duty. But women can't do that. They can't help you raise a family for 30 years. They can't. And if they do, it's oftentimes with the help of Big Daddy State once they kick the dad out. And then on the statistics, oh, look at all these deadbeat dads, when really it's just the bitches pushing the men out. That's the real problem. This is why we don't want women in the workforce. In fact, we don't even need women in the workforce. It's not necessary. The world can operate without one woman pushing one fucking pencil on a desk. We don't need women having these office jobs. We don't. We don't need women in the medical field. We don't. You want to go work at a daycare? Fine. Cool. You want to be a secretary? Fine. Cool. But everything else, we don't need you to do anything. In fact, we don't even need you to be secretaries either. You don't want to hear that, but it's true. You're so off base with your theory here because you assume that we men don't know what the fuck is actually going on when we do. This group of men, MGTOW, we know what's going on. You can't bullshit us.
We women nowadays, we are going against our true nature.
Oh, come on with that shit. The issue is that female nature has been let out of its cage and it is unrestrained. Society does not want to put women in check. That is the problem. But, go on and tell us, what femininity is.
Because what does it mean to be a woman? You are nurturing. You are soft. You're feminine, You give life to this art. You are not supposed to be like a dude swearing and being all horrible, and fighting on the street and dressing up like a man and trying to be a man in everything. This is not working out. I truly believe that if you want to be happy, if you want to have a happy relationship, you need to aim to be feminine. And let me tell you, there is nothing weak in being feminine. There is nothing weak in being 100% woman.
It's just interesting how she's going to sit here and try to tell, any women that might be watching, oh, don't do this and that like men. Bitch, it's too late. Women are already trying to behave like men. And we want to sit here and talk about, women don't need to be dressing like men. It's too late. Fuck, just look at Hillary Clinton wearing pantsuits. I mean, come on. And then you got bitches like you wearing t-shirts. Only in the last 100 years have women ever thought to do that. You want to know why? Because men wear shirts. Men wear long sleeve and short sleeve t-shirts. Men do. Women emulated that from men. And it's just interesting, you want to sit here and do all these critiques, but you have a shirt that says, work hard, play hard. That's only going to promote women to think, oh, if I work hard enough in life, I can play hard too. Seems a little feminist of you to be wearing that shirt. It's just interesting how that works. Like seriously, guys, listen to her, say this shit and stare at that shirt and think about, how much bullshit is coming out of her mouth. She doesn't even believe what she's saying.
You are not supposed to be dressing up like a man and trying to be a man in everything. This is not working out.
You see, guys, she's a fucking feminist just like all of the others. And yes, it's not working out. And to further prove that she is just like any other feminist out there, let's hear her tell us men, us MGTOW men, how women have been oppressed all this time, and that's why that's why women have been standing up and she's gonna regurgitate the theory that women have been oppressed and abused by men in the past. Listen to her say it. And that only goes to prove that she is a feminist and she is against the patriarchy that she supposedly supports. We've already proven that she doesn't, but listen to this. It's just more proof.
A lot of historical events that had happened where women have been abused and so on and so on. And this is why we kind of become very angry and vengeful. Okay, so now we are, so to say, taking our revenge.
And you hear, guys, she accidentally said, we are taking our revenge. She said, we. That means she's admitting that the collective of women are vengeful and taking their spite out on men because of that propaganda that women have ate up that says that, oh, men have oppressed women historically. Her true colors are showing.
Now we are, so to say, taking our revenge on the mankind, but the men in general. But this cannot bring anything good. You need to understand this, because if you fight your very core, your very essence, you're constantly in resistance. So if you are in a resistance, there is no way that you can be in a happy relationship. What is going to happen is you're going to be like 90% of my girlfriends.
Wow. So she's going to lament and prove MGTOW right. And we're going to listen to what she has to say. But she just said, because of this vengeful spirit that has plagued the West, because of this vengeful attitude, due to all of that propaganda, 90% of the women that she knows has this vengeful spirit. 90%. That's why men are walking away from you cunts. Thanks for your admission. But continue on.
You're going to be like 90% of my girlfriends, and like me years ago, when I was exactly the same, like being constantly in resistance, you're only going to be finding weak men, Do you know this? Can you recognize yourself? Oh, I only find weak men. I'm so much stronger and I'm so much better. Why do I need this dude?
Every time a bitch, is about to hit that wall, they suddenly have this epiphany of, oh, maybe I shouldn't be in the resistance, as she put it. Maybe I shouldn't act all feminists because I'm approaching that wall. That's all that's going on here. She wants to say that, oh, like I used to be. Bitch, you're not fooling me, okay? You're not. At the beginning of this video, you sat there and said, again, that you supported patriarchy, but then 5 seconds later, you said that you do not support women being stay-at-home moms because you're afraid that there would be backlash. So you are a part of that 90%. Don't try to separate yourself from that. It's as if you think we're stupid. You're about to find out different.
So if you are this type of a woman that is very strong, very manly on the inside, I mean, you know, the fact that you're wearing dresses does not make you feminine and does not make you a woman. Okay, this is also something you need to understand. So if your inner man,
how is she going to sit there and say, your inner man? She's admitting that most modern women have adopted traits of masculinity. It's just not attractive to us. Your inner man. That's just interesting.
the fact that you're wearing dresses does not make you feminine and does not make you a woman. Okay, this is also something you need to understand. So if your inner man is very strong, then when you are meeting guys, you are just provoking them, you know. They see a competition in you. They don't see a woman for whom they would fight, for whom they would do anything, for whom they will settle down and make a family, you know. They just sense on energy level, you know, they sense that your inner man is so strong, sometimes stronger than their own. So they just, you know, bow down and bye-bye. No.
Number one, walking away from the plantation is not bowing down. Let's get that straight right here and right now. It's not bowing down. In fact, it's quite the opposite. And another thing, when a woman shows traits of having this inner man, as you put it, it's not that they're stronger than our inner man. It's that your inner man is not attractive to us. Men who are straight, I mean, this is just logic. Men who are straight are not going to want to hook up with a man. And if women are behaving like men, we do not want you. That's what feminism has failed to realize. And again, leaving the plantation is not bowing down.
You know, you're thinking, why are men saying no to marriage, no to this, no to that? Because men feel threatened, you know. We women, with being so strong, you know, and so capable and so not really needing men at all and pushing them away in every possible way and in every opportunity that we have, of course they will also come in a way into a resistance. They are going to try to take the power back.
That statement right there should put chills down your spine as a MGTOW. A woman admitting that women indeed have the power. She's admitting it. Otherwise, why would she say that men are trying to get the power back? See, she knows that we are going to get that power back. And that is why she is today's chameleon. That is why she's trying to manipulate this community and put MGTOW in her title. And she's pretending to coach women in front of us in order to trick, you know, any gullible man out there in the ether that might think that, oh, not all women are like that because I saw this video. Don't be fooled. That's why men like me point out what I point out. Again, if women did not steal the power from men, then why is it that she just admitted that men are trying to take the power back?
I'm sorry to say this, but women have become very cheap. And I don't mean to be evil and bad with saying this, and I don't mean to be a bitch, because I'm a woman too. So first, for yourself, you need to understand and you need to think about this, what you want. If you want a relationship, no sex with this guy, you're not giving him sex. And let me tell you, if he does not come back and if he does not respect this boundary of yours, okay, that you want to get to know each other, yada yada, that you want a status, okay? I don't know how to say this. Maybe I should scream it out. Status.
You see, most men would respect women who reserved that sexual, energy. We would respect women if they weren't sluts the moment that we met them. But the problem is that most women are not virgins. Most women lose their virginity in high school. So the idea of withholding sex, it has no value anymore. Because if you're withholding sex, odds are good, you're not a virgin anyway. So there's nothing special there to be holding back to begin with. And, women aren't going to listen to you. They're out there using sex as a fucking, chip in the game. In fact, that is their hand as well. It's their hand and it's their chips. And so, it's really hard for men to respect women who are withholding sex in today's age. Because we know what you're actually doing. You're not trying to be classy. You're just waiting until the right slave pops up in front of you. You're just waiting for that plow horse, and then you'll open up your legs. A lot of you bitches will ride that cock carousel, and it's not until you're in your late 30s where you're like, oh, I need to start withholding sex a little bit and slow down a little bit. Find me the right fucking plow horse. Those are the only women that are going to listen to you. But by then, you're already devalued. It's a little bit too late to tell women to close their legs. It's a little bit too late. Just look at the abortion numbers.
Okay? If you're really high maintenance, and there are so many hundreds of women that are not, the chances are a smaller quantity of men are going to be fighting for you. But this is good. You need to understand this is good, because you're turning down those who are not good.
She's telling women to be high maintenance. And she's telling them that it's to their benefit if they're high maintenance. Basically, she's telling women to overvalue themselves, which they already do because of feminism, by the way, which, that goes against patriarchy. But she's telling these women to be high maintenance because they'll have less men coming after them. That's not true. The real translation here is this. When women are high maintenance, they know that the pool is only smaller as far as their selection goes because the 80-20 rule. Women always reject 80% of men, and they only want the top 20%. We know this. We've all known this for years. But she wants to twist the narrative there a little bit, as if we don't know what she's really saying. She's just confirming the 80-20 rule. But she's sitting there saying, oh, less men will find you attractive. No, less men will try, because if a bitch is high maintenance, most men, without even hearing of the 80-20 rule, will know that if a bitch is high maintenance, she's oversold herself. She's not even worth talking to. But the men that are at the, top 20%, they're going to have the confidence to walk over to that high maintenance bitch because they have a plethora of them, in their receipts. They've had them. They've had those high maintenance bitches. They know how to get you. So all you're doing is promoting the 80-20 rule. That's all you're doing. And you're making the problem worse by telling women, to behave in that manner.
Because first of all, women tend nowadays to confuse sex with love, okay? So they sleep with the guy, they start cooking for him, cleaning for him, being like a girlfriend for him and everything, being like a wife for him, doing everything without receiving a status, okay? So you need to understand this. Maybe I will do this in a separate video where I will go into details. But if you want to be in a relationship, if you want to marry, any guy, you know, if you want to get married and have a family, if you want to be respected by this man who's your man, you cannot be cheap. And what I mean by this, you are not supposed to sleep with this guy from the beginning and give him everything without open your ears, okay, without him giving you the status that you desire.
Remember all of those Sandman videos where he said that women are obsessed with status? Well, there you go. There's the proof. There's her admission. And she's promoting that idea. And she's also saying stuff like, don't cook and clean for the man until you have status. Why would a man give a woman status without even knowing if she can cook or clean or do any of those things? Because most women don't. I'm here to tell you. I've dated a good handful of women, and most of them have no idea how to flip a spatula. Most of them can't even fucking make a pancake. Seriously, it's easy to make. So, I don't know where you're getting off by trying to give all of these women who can't cook an edge by saying, oh, don't try to cook or do anything for the man that you want. There's an age-old saying that the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. That saying, has been around longer than you. But you want to tell women not to do that until they get what they want. It's interesting how that works. And you know what? That is cheap.
You're not opening your legs, okay? Honey, so you're gonna tell him, I'm either your girlfriend or you're not seeing anything that's underneath this skirt. Yeah, Okay. I mean, I am trying to be funny here, but this is true. I've done this mistake so many times, that's why I'm making a video about it. So, you need to give him exactly as much as he's giving to you.
Yeah, pinch me, okay? Because either I've been living in a dream this whole time, or women are incapable of giving as much as we give them. When men are expected to pay for the dates, the drinks, the jewelry, throughout the year with all of these bullshit holidays that corporations created, to make women happy and also fill up their pockets. All of this shit's going on, but you want us, you want us to actually believe that you can convince women to give as much as they receive. We both know that you're full of shit.
I've done this mistake so many times, that's why I'm making a video about it. So, you need to give him exactly as much as he's giving to you. Okay? Not more, not less. Maybe sometimes a bit less. If you can. If you are as good.
Look at that. Case in point. Case and fucking point. She says, you need to give as much as the man is giving you. And then she says, oh, but sometimes a little bit less. Sometimes give him a little bit less if you can. You see, that's why we don't respect the modern Western woman. That's why we're going MGTOW in 195 countries. Anyways, this is Mike the MGTOW man sign off, and as always, never give in, never surrender, never let these chameleons get by without us holding that fucking line. MGTOW for life. And also guys, go into the description below, click on the link to this video, go over there and type #ChameleonPurge. And we'll see you in the next video.
Yeah.